A very good day to doctor. Our topic is the application of transportation model in operation management from Group 3. Let me introduce Group 3 members, which are Tan Hua Yu, Elisa Angyeni, Sang Siu Quan, Christopher Gan Tian Leong, and Lang Zirui. Transportation is extremely important to the public. Transportation determines the revenue and fortune of organizations that deliver goods from one end of the country to the other. This is especially true when transportation costs and time exceed production costs and time. Linear programming, known as LP, is used to handle a variety of transportation problems, including the physical distribution of service and goods from various supply locations to demand areas.
Hello, my name is Sang Siu Quan. With number metric 2788717, I will explain about Walker approximation method and stepping stone method. Walker's approximation method, WAM, is one of the methods used to calculate the initial basic feasible solution to a transportation problem. WAM is an iterative procedure such that in each step, we should find the penalties for available row and column. Identify the two lowest costs in each row and column of the given cost matrix, and then write the absolute row and column difference. These differences are called penalties. The row or column with the maximum penalty and assign the corresponding cells according to minimum supply or demand. If two or more columns or rows have the same maximum penalty, then we can choose one among them as per our convenience. Delete the corresponding row if they satisfy the supply at the origin. If it satisfies the demand at the destination, delete the corresponding column. The stepping stone method is a method that used to check the optimality of an initial feasible solution determined by northwest corner, minimal cell cost, or Walker approximation method. This method is derived from the analogy of crossing a pond using stepping stones. This means then the entire transportation table is assumed to be a pond, and the occupied cells are the stones needed to make certain movement within the pond. Starting an unused cell, trace a crawl path back to the original cell where cells that are currently being used. Each pair of consecutive used cells lies in either the same row or column, or not three consecutive used cells lie in the same row or column. The first and last cell of a sequence lies in the same row or column, and no cells appear more than once in a sequence. Only horizontal and vertical moves are allowed and can only change direction at used cells. The advantage of Walker approximation method is this method is very systematic. This method takes lesser time in solving transportation problems, and less computation are involved in these methods. In disadvantage, these methods provide approximated solution, but this solution may not be optimal. This method is tedious when the given matrix is large one. The stepping stone method advantage is it can help to find the optimal solution from initial feasible solution. Its disadvantage is it might take many steps until the optimal solution.
Hi, my name is Christopher Gan Tian Leong 27991. In this slide, I'm going to talk about the northern west corner method and the least cost method. And the top one, you will see the table is about the northwest corner method, which the total cost of 15,000 ringgit, and the bottom one will be the least cost method with the total cost of 9,000 ringgit. Let's talk about the northwest corner method. Step 1. Insert the value at the top left side corner with the available supply value to fulfill the demand. The gray box is the first step. Step 2. Subtract the gray box value from the demand and supply. Insert new row if the demand equals 0. Insert new column if the supply equals to 0. As you can see in the column demand A, there are two red boxes, which mean the gray box has given the maximum value for the demand A. And then step 3, repeat the second step until the zigzag show up in the table. Then the last step is the blue box has shown the optimal solution when the supply and demand has equals to 0. What are the steps for the least cost method? Step 1. Insert the value at the minimum cost at the first row regarding the maximum demand and the available supply, while the highlighted cost, which is the highest cost in the first row or the row, will be get ignored. Step 2. Value can be added either the new row or the new column. Subtract the gray box value from the demand and supply, therefore insert to the new column and or the new row. Step 3. Repeat the step 1 and the step 2 to identify the minimum cost and the box that suit for allocation. Step 4 is the final step for all the demand and the supply are equals to 0, which has shown the optimum solution. Lastly, I'm going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of the least cost method and the northwest corner method. The advantages of a northwest corner method are easy to use and easy to get the optimal solution. It's because the rules of this method are allocated from northwest to southeast only. Meanwhile, the disadvantages is there is no consideration of the transportation cost, which will affect the high cost in demand and supply. On the other hand, easy to use and accurate result are the advantages of the least cost method, because this method have count the transportation cost in the allocation, but all the section are based on the personal observation with no rules apply. There might happen misunderstanding in optimal solution.
Hello, my name is Namjiri. Feature number is 2775579. We are solving an operation research problem. The key part lay in formulating the model by decoding the problem. For transportation problems, usually the problem will be given in a tabular form or matrix form called transportation table or cost-effective matrix. There are different methods available to attempt the initial physical solution. The first one is northwest corner method. For that, let's consider an example problem for better understanding. The first step is make it a standard transportation problem and also check whether it is a balanced or unbalanced transportation problem. So we use the northwest corner method. That is the cost of the intersection of the first row and the first column. Compare the demand and supply, which is 55 demand and 70 supply. Allocate the cell with the smallest value is 55. Subtract the excluded cells with the smallest value. That is assigned cell value. We eliminate it by editing the corresponding column or row to facilitate our later record. Now continue the process with remaining cells again. Find the northwest cell and do the same step as given above. Just keep repeating the step slowly, but both the demand and supply will be the same, which will be better allocated in the remaining cylindrical cells. The final data with all allocated cells will be like this. This is the initial physical solution by the northwest corner method. We also need to calculate the cost to find the sum at all the products of all allocated and the cost of respective cells. We will get $830, which represents the total cost involved in moving the commodities. After that, this cost method also is one of the methods. We still use the same example question to understand how it works. First, we need to select the least value among all the costs, which is 4, given in blue. We can see there are two cells with the least cost with clear user's choice to decide which one to select. Still the same work. Compare the demand and supply of the cell. Try the execute cells with the least value. Eliminate the column or row according by stripping it off. Last of the demand and supply will be the same, which will be further allocated in the remaining single cell. The final table will be like this. We also need to calculate the cost to find the same at all the products and the cost. We will get $890, which represents the total cost. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Tan Hua Yu and my normal number is 28122, and today I'm present about the stepping stone method and the VAM. And for the stepping stone method in application in the operation management in a companies, as we know that the operation management is the ways to optimize and is a process to use the labels and materials and convert into the product. So the logistic in the operation management also being included, and by using the stepping stone method we can use to calculate the feasibility solutions by according to the transporting cost. And this is one of the method to calculate it, and this method can help the companies to find the alternative transportation cost that can reduce the transportation cost in the whole process of the operation management, and this will help the company to increase the profit. And from here we can see this the example of the Executive Furnitures Corporation. And from here we can see we have some of the cell have the value, that is the volume of transportation they want to transport. And from here we can see the 5 at the column of A and D have that is the transportation cost, and with that the most important we are using the empty cells and calculate by using the transportation cost. And from here we can see we have the B and BD is the empty cells, and CD is empty cell, and also the CE and BF. From here we will need to calculate those 4 cells first to ensure those 4 cells is optimized. If we use the, let's say if we use the BD cells of the empty cells, we calculate by using the stepping stone. We will need to step on the cell of the BE, then we go to left hand side to the AE and step on to AD and then back to the BD. So this is one perfect cycle of the stepping stone method to calculate the BD is the solution facility solution or not. From here we need to do the calculations. Actually average is 2 times all around the step until we find the stepping stone method of BD or the CD, right? We calculate all of the empty cells, we get the positive value without a negative value, so means that this method is the best transportation method that can help the companies to earn the profit. That's all from the stepping stone method. Hello, well, continues to the VAM as the regular approximate method that in the operation management is used to optimize and find the facility solution in the transportation cost. As we know that operation management is a process including the logistic, and we use the logistics to hosting our goods to our consumer. So at here we need to find the best way to reduce the cost and increase the profit for the company. So this method is help the companies to ensure which of the transportation cost and ways the path is the best and optimize the near to the optimized solutions. So from here we can see also same with the example as the stepping stone is the Executive Furnitures and Corporation. From here we can see we are more focused on the cost on the small boxes, the 5, 4 and 3. For the AD, AB and the CD cost, right, is from here we can see we are not using the empty cells like the stepping stone, but here we use the cost, the minimum cost that we compare with like let's say we use the CD sales of the transportation cost is 3. So we divide with the we use the Boston, and the Des Montreal is the BD sales of 4 ringgit to minus the CD sale of the 3 ringgit, and we get the penalty cost. And after that we will do for each row and each column. Then we find the best the highest penalty cost. Then we use that as the new web solution. Then we continue to do until we can find we can fill with all the empty cells, and then after we get all the step, we will get the best solution for the VAM. And for this VAM is one of the solutions to prevent the company not pick for the not choose for the best or the highest penalty cost way. Because if we don't choose the way, let's say if the CD is the highest penalty cost, if the company not choose the way, the company might have lost many costs, because the penalty cost is highest if we don't choose the CD as our transportation cost. And that's all from me.
In conclusion, the application of transportation model in operation management has Rogers approximation method VAM, stepping stone method, northwest corner method NWCM, and least cost method LCM. Each method has their advantages and disadvantages to solve the problems.